Anyway, I got this call on my phone, and I looked at it, and you know when it's a foreign number, so it's 063 or whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
Correct. And I'm thinking, well, it's spam. I'm not answering that. Anyway, then my voicemail went, so I listened to the voicemail. Ken Bates, got your letter. Give me a call back, and I thought, oh, fuck it. I've got minutes and stuff. It wasn't going to cost me anything.
It must have been
in the day when you had them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In EU, we could have it.
Correct. Yeah. So I rang him, and it was his home number. Welcome to Buckets and Bubbles.
Hello.
I don't think my mic was on.
Flying by the seat of his pants as we always do.
Well, as always. So, how have you been, Mike?
All right. I'm currently in a stint where I've not had a day off for about 32 days. I'm counting days when I'm at home and I'm doing uni work as not a day off.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, don't feel sorry for me.
We're going to talk about Leeds versus Man City, Leeds versus Sunderland, and believe me, I'm going to be quick. And we're going to talk about West Ham versus Liverpool and West Ham versus Fulham. That's what we're going to cover.
Yes.
Just so that you know, so that we're not talking about the games that have, gone since then. Anyway, sorry, let me jump into some social media really quickly.
Okay.
Stach. Who's been called up to the Germany squad.
Nice.
So that's good for him. Man City, Men in Black, sat in his egg chair with his big gun and his Leeds United tie on. And I was looking at it thinking, why is it Men in Black? Why? And then it dawned on me that, of course, Manchester City's away kit is black. So I'm assuming that's why he's gone Men in Black. Yeah. But it's quite nice anyway, isn't it? It's quite nice. I mean, it won't be nice if we get relegated.
But
then it's really going to annoy me. Then he did the Sunderland, but we've seen the Sunderland one before. It's like he's on some sort of hoverboard type thing with a black cat flying next to him. I think he's just rehashed it, so I'm a bit disappointed in that.
Yeah, he couldn't afford the fiver guy this week.
Correct.
Yeah.
But then Leeds did this thing where their official partner, I don't know partner of what, but it's sort of employment hero. That's what it is. And it's a pink bunny jumping up in the middle of the pitch with a phone in its hand, right? And the Metchers pointing and laughing at it. But I thought that was one of Stach as one of his posts. So I clipped it and then I went, oh, he's absolutely mental. And then I looked at it again and went, oh no, it ain't. It's nothing to do with Stack. It's just they've got an official employment hero partner.
Yeah, maybe Stack's man's been, had some referral work with Leeds United.
Maybe.
PLC.
Yeah. But anyway, it's mental. And I don't know what an official employment hero partner is.
I don't know. It's going back onto LinkedIn, that, isn't it?
Of course it is.
Yeah, somebody's got I'm a coach of an employment hero. Sure, not bad.
Correct. And we're affiliated to Leeds United. But Leeds Man City, they either couldn't be asked doing anything or they've been really clever. And I'm going with really clever because they've just got Stach, him sat in his little office chair with his top on, at the back of him looking at his laptop, and on the wall are 4 of his social media game posts. So we've got Leeds United versus Arsenal. Leeds United, I can't remember which one that was, the Family Guy one, can't remember. We've got the Newcastle United one where he's riding the seahorse, and then the, I think it was the last Crystal Palace one actually, just behind him, which was the Breaking Bad, which I liked that. Leeds versus Sunderland, but it's just a bit shit, so I'm moving on from that. Pirro though.
Did he get a go? I can't remember.
Pirro? No. He didn't get a go. Got a go in the FA Cup, but we'll come on to that next time. Pirro has gone nuts. So he did Man City, mouth open on one of the pitches, still having trouble with his sinuses.
Yeah, bless him.
Yeah. And then the Sunderland one, which is him sort of running away or jogging slightly, nonchalantly, mouth open, obviously. Yeah. But then...
It's up north, isn't it? Gold dust and all that. It's bad for your sinuses.
At least he's got sinuses.
Yeah, he has. Bless him.
Yeah.
Lucky for him.
Yeah, lucky for him. Then he did a series of training pictures. So there's one of him on the laughing on the training pitch. Then a split screen, one of him doing some sort of exercise, then laughing again with Jayden Bogle. And then a third one with Jayden Bogle, Willie Gnonto, and him sort of bent over laughing again. Don't know why he's done that.
It just dawned on me then, like, where is Leeds United's training ground? I should really know this, because I know where Leeds Rhinos one is.
Thorpe Arch.
Is it?
Yeah, just outside Wetherby. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But it's a big thing that they want to... a couple of the previous owners have said, we need to bring it back to the city towards the ground. But it's just... Because when Ken Bates was there, he sold it to somebody. The previous owners had to sell it to Mog, when we were in all that financial shit. And then Ken Bates had an option to buy it back, but he said he didn't have the money, and he went to the council for help, and they told him to bollocks, as they would. And then he said, we can't buy it then. But mysteriously, it was bought by some company somewhere, which he probably had his fucking dirty fingers in.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, that's exactly what happened to Upton Park is, we sold it to some holding company, which were called like West Ham Development PLC, which had been set up like 3 months beforehand or something dodgy. And then all of a sudden, the day after we sold it to them and their wonderful, West Ham related development, we sold it to fucking Permisson Homes or whatever bullshit, made some shit flats. And suddenly, David Sullivan bought a new helicopter.
Yeah, well, there we go. That's what it's all about, isn't it? But did I ever tell you about the time when he rang me?
Oh, David Sullivan.
No, although that would have been good. Yeah. Ken Bates.
Really?
Yeah, he called me. Right, so I'd written this letter of complaint. I can't remember what game it was, but I took my son. It must have been Louis because it was so long ago. He was about 5. It was one of the first games that he'd ever been to. And we lost. I mean, it was miserable. We lost like 5-2 or something to Preston or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was. Anyway.
It's good
and it was just
miserable. 5-2, thinking about what's going on.
Just miserable. Like the ground was half empty. And I sent this letter in just sort of saying, this is, you want to attract a new generation of fans and blah blah blah. It's just grim, and everything that was going on was grim. Anyway, I got this call on my phone, and I looked at it, and when it's a foreign number, so it's 063 or
whatever. Yeah,
correct. And I'm thinking, well, it's spam. I'm not answering that. Anyway, then my voicemail went, so I listened to the voicemail. Ken Bates, got your letter. Give me a call back, and I thought, oh, fuck it. I've got, minutes and stuff. It wasn't going to cost me anything.
It must have been,
in the day when you had them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
EU and we could have it.
Correct. Yeah. So I rang him, and it was his home number, and he was in, Monte Carlo or wherever it was that he was living, and he answered the phone, leathered, absolutely leathered.
That's why he's wrong, innit?
Yeah, middle of the afternoon, and he's gone. Got your letter. He said, but before I talk to you, the missus wants to have a word. I can't remember his wife's name. So she came and she said, I was very touched by your letter, and you're absolutely right. I wanted to ring and just talk to you about, we wanted to talk to you about what's going on and what we're trying to do. And I mean, then he came back on and he basically said absolutely nothing other than, you've got to trust me. And it was like, oh, okay, Ken. But I was on the phone to him for about 20 minutes.
That's mad, that. And it's like, I mean, you could imagine that kind of thing. Like, you see it all the time with fan advisory boards and, in the nose and high-profile fan Twitter accounts and stuff being leaked stuff from the clubs and all that. This is before then, isn't it? This is just, like, what's the incentive for him to just ring up a fan with a begrudging letter? Today they'd just go, great, and just put it on a pile, wouldn't they?
I know.
Because you ain't got 100,000 followers on Twitter or whatever.
Because he was telling me that big things were coming. There was a manager on his way, which ended up being oh God, his name's gone out. Why is his name gone out of my head? Anyway, it ended up being was it Kevin Blackwell? I can't remember.
I think that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it wasn't. No. It was some. He was banging on about, we're going to have this manager. We've got some exciting stuff coming up, and it's like, yeah, bollocks. Yeah, nonsense.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the rather boring Kevin.
I mean,
Kevin Blackwell.
You know.
I have got a Kevin Blackwell story as well, but we'll save that for another time.
Yeah. Stay tuned, kids.
Yeah, correct. So anyway, that's Pirro. Back to the social media. Your Liverpool one is a standard. Bowen, Totti, I think, and Hernandez there. And then very similar for Fulham. Just, come on.
It's a bit Roy the Rovers, isn't it?
It's just, yeah. However, after the Fulham game, because obviously that was the better of the two results, we've got the retro classic vintage shirts adverts out.
Yeah.
I do quite like the creamy one. That's quite nice. Dagenham Motors.
Yeah, I love the Dagenham Motors era.
Also, after the Fulham game, they went mad because Iron's originals as well.
Yeah.
This is like, I don't know who makes them, but it's got an Adidas Originals knockoff about it.
Yeah, I mean, once we've got to a point where we've started putting a couple of results together, I thought, hey, people are going to start buying shit now. Let's. I mean, you can tell they've obviously been dying to promote this all season, and they've just not been the results to kind of be like, no football fan is going to.
No fancy boxer shorts though. They've gone.
No, oddballs. I mean, you know,
we might
get sponsored by them, yeah.
I'll be sponsored by anybody. I'm not asked me. You were very quiet after the Liverpool match, I noticed.
Nothing. You know, I needed some deep reflection.
But you were there. But you were there after the Fulham match. 1-0 to the Cockney boys.
Yeah, fair enough. You know.
Yeah, and then come on, you Irons. After being a point behind the wonderful Spurs and bringing it within 3 points of us. Nightmare. Yeah. Also, West Ham finished off this little section with a first time that Fulham blank at home since October.
Yeah. I mean, like our season, when we have a shit season, we tend to do those kind of, we break other teams' records on our eventual recovery. Like we did we were the last team to beat Arsenal at Highbury and the first team to beat them at the Emirates. We did the same thing at Tottenham with their new stadium, all in seasons where we've done pretty shit. That's quite impressive though, isn't it, with Arsenal? Yeah. Because of who Arsenal are now. Yeah. You know, first time Fulham have blanked it. Yeah. You know, it's grasping at straws a little bit. It is. I mean, we need them. Well, you know, you're clawing it back. Right, let me talk about Leeds. Man City beat us 1-0. They were shit. And actually, in the games afterwards, they've played pretty much how they played against us, just didn't get away with it. Yeah. They had one moment of Man City-ness, which they broke down our left. It was a nice ball in. Semenyo, I think it was, just tucked it away. Pretty easy stuff. Too easy, really. If you start analysing it, you start going, we could have done better with that. We had enough chances to at least draw that game. We deserved to draw that game, if not win it. Sunderland, it's a similar thing, basically. It's a similar thing. So, Sunderland beat us 1-0. Sunderland, slightly different. Sunderland didn't come to win that game. They came not to lose. That's borne out in the stats. And they got lucky with the penalty. I'm going to talk about these things in a minute. But we didn't do it. To be fair, even though we dominated that game, I don't think we did enough. We didn't create enough to win it, but we definitely didn't deserve to lose it. A couple of themes I want to throw at you. The first one is... Hello. Handball. Yes. Tell me what the handball rule is. So the handball rule is about a player's arm up until I kind of think it's the shirt length there. Like it has to be that part of the arm going towards the ball in a way that the arm feels unnaturally placed and isn't part of a particular flourishing dive or something like that. It's not aiding momentum. It is that would be my understanding. So what tends to happen to arms when you're running? You go like that. Also when you're fighting. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting, because that's what happened. Ampadu, lots of people say it's a penalty. I've got no problem with it being a penalty if that's what they're giving penalties for. My problem is that it's all too subjective. So Ampadu's VAR gets involved. So the referee either doesn't see it or doesn't think it's handball. So VAR gets involved and says, no, I think it is, you need to have a look at it.
As soon as that happens, surely that is not an obvious error.
Yeah.
Surely then it becomes somebody's subjective view on something else. Now, it might be that was the right view. I want to say that again, and it was a penalty, and I've got no problem. However, in the Man City game, the ball, quite similar, different area of the pitch, but still in the box, hits, I think it's Silva.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly. Hits their arm, and it's doing a similar thing, that movement, and that's deemed to be a natural position. My problem is that if there is an arm movement towards the ball, no matter what, then it has to be a penalty. Not one is and one isn't, because that's just too subjective. Second point I'd like to raise, which is players talking surrounding the referee.
Yeah.
What's your understanding of that?
So my understanding is that currently the only player who is allowed to voice an opinion or a voice a disagreement towards a referee is the captain or vice captain, depending on who's on the pitch. Whoever's wearing the armband, essentially. And that players who repeatedly and aggressively flaunt that are subject to bookings.
It's bullshit. Manchester City did it all game, surrounding the ref. I mean, somebody got booked, I can't remember who it was, and then just did a tirade of shouting at the referee after they were booked. Yeah. And it's sort of like, well, surely that's just another yellow card.
Yeah, and off.
Silva. Yeah. Simulation. What's your understanding of the punishment for simulation?
I mean, just look at Wan-Bissaka a couple of games ago when he did it, just, attempting to gain an advantage through falsifying a foul.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't tell you how many times Silva threw himself on the floor, and he wasn't the only one, threw himself on the floor, and the referee told him to get up, recognised it, went up, get up, a number of times, and you're going, right, how many times does that need to happen before you yellow card them? And he didn't yellow card him because he'd already yellow carded him for a foul. Yeah. And you're just thinking, this isn't right.
Where's the consequences? Where's the consequences of that?
There's no consequence, and there's no consistency.
Yeah.
And at the end, there's, we absolutely attacked them. We were all over them for the last 5-10 minutes. And during the extra time, there was 6 minutes, if I remember right. There was 6 minutes of extra time. In that extra time, I think there were 3 bookings, maybe only 2 bookings for time wasting, one of them being the goalkeeper. And I think a substitution. And the referee added 2 seconds. So in extra time, even though he'd booked 2 of their players for time wasting, he added no extra time on.
Yeah, madness.
Now, Daniel Farke then went jogging on the pitch at the end to talk to the referee, and as he came jogging on, before he even said a word, he was red carded. The referee just shows him a red card. Go away. No, red card. No discussion. No, what are you doing? Go on, off you go. Straight red card. You go, hang on a minute. Like, Pep has spent most of this game with 1 foot on the pitch out of his technical area. Yeah. You're sort of going, what? I mean, how?
It's games like that and it's decisions like that which feed into the idea that there is, whether it's conscious or unconscious, there is a bias to the teams who have the greatest influence because they're the ones who bring in the greatest revenue.
It feels like that.
And it's like Man City are the ones who, have been one of the giants of the past decade, a little bit longer, go right the way down to Man United, and I just feel like there is a fear amongst officials, whether this is something which is genuinely conspiratorial, and I doubt it genuinely is, because that would feel ridiculous. But given the state of the planet we live on, nothing would surprise me these days.
No. The final thing is linked to that sort of throwing yourself on the floor, because Sunderland, oh my God. I mean, I'm just, anybody that watched that, you're talking about the Premier League as a product. I mean, if that's what they want, then good luck to them, because they didn't come to play football. They came to throw themselves on the floor, and they kept doing it. And this is where my annoyance with VAR is. I know loads of people are, but there was a tackle. Ethan Ampadu. I don't think he's deliberately moved his hand to handball it. I think he's running. It's that movement, and his arm does move towards the ball. It does. So whatever. If that's a penalty, then fine. But during a corner, I know we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I mean, Pascal Struijk is not only is he wrestled to the floor, it's round his neck. And in rugby, that would be a high tackle.
Yeah, that's sin bin.
And you're just going. Why? How is VAR not look at it? And the reason that they say that they didn't look at it is because they're not there to re-referee the game.
But yet they re-referee the game all the time.
Yeah. So it's just
Yeah.
I've had it. I'm very close to just not giving a shit about it anymore. And quite frankly, I'd rather be in the Championship, because at least we can moan about the referees and whatever, but at least it just seems fairer.
Yeah, but it's also that kind of thing of, given the fact that it has to go to a panel of referees, of professional referees, who've got the luxury of replays and technology to support their decisions, they should be getting those decisions right according to the letter of the law, and they don't. And that's the thing.
I don't think they know what the law is.
No,
anymore.
And it's all about interpretations
know.
of. And I don't think there's a standardised thing within refereeing as to what the interpretations are.
But quite frankly, we've got 0 points from 2 games, and I don't really think it's all our fault. And that's where it just becomes annoying. So I've had enough, Mike. You can talk about your games.
All right, I will do. So Liverpool away. And it's... Anfield is a place that we very rarely go and get a result. The last time we got a result was only a couple of years ago under Moyes, but I think the previous result to that was 1968 or some bullshit. It was 30 odd years we'd not spent taking anything out of Anfield. We've beaten Liverpool over the years. We've got results over them. They're not really a bogey team as such. They're just always 10 steps ahead of us, and quite rightly take the points when we've met, because they're a good team. This year they've not been great, and I feel like this game is just this will be the third time this week I've mentioned a standard deviation, which is a terminology. I might get this wrong, it's been a while, but when you have a set of data, like a data set of an event, so like every single time that Liverpool have played this season, every single time West Ham have played this season, and together blah blah blah, and you've got a set of results, and you can spot trends and blah blah blah, and there's a deviation that's allowed, which is 3 times the average. So say if your average is 1-1 draw, and 3 times the average is a 3-0 or whatever, that is a deviation within a standard. And then when you get outside of that, that's when you kind of go, that's a freak event. 5-2 is a freak event, given Liverpool season and given our trajectory in those 2 games.
Yeah. No, I see that.
And I feel like Disasi gets an own goal, which is unfortunate. I think that they just got very lucky in terms of a lot of their goals came from corners and crosses in from that area, and we've traditionally this season not been great in those areas, and I think they just found a way to exploit it. I don't think they played particularly well. I just think they exploited our weakness better than we exploited theirs. The thing which was really interesting is the spirit of the team. Like, I ended that game and just went, fair. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't annoyed. I think 3-0 at half time felt like, 6 months ago, oh, that's it, we're done. Whereas I was like, right, come on then, let's make it 4-3. I think even I might have even posted that at half time and then deleted it.
I didn't see it. So.
Yeah, because I think I was like, we're not getting 4-3. But, second half we come out, Souček gets a goal at 49 minutes, and it's like, come on then, it's on. They follow it up. They got, in fact, they got their Gakpo goal, was it? Yeah, at 70 minutes. So it was 3-1 for a while, and then Gakpo gets it, and it's 4-1. And then we get another, and you're like, it's still on. Like, we didn't stop trying. And then it was the Disasi one at the end, which kind of, you were like, shit. Yeah. The result flatters Liverpool, absolutely. But I feel like there's a lot to take out of it from West Ham. And that feels like a bit of a trope to go, oh yeah, there's a good spirit, a lot to take out. But it's difficult to take positives out of a 5-2.
I think you're right. And I think you're right because I think it was one of those games where it just sort of fell for Liverpool. Yeah. I think they deserve to win. Yeah. I mean, they were the better side, but not 5-2 no. better.
We played really well against Liverpool for a lot of that game. And then we went to Fulham, a game where you think, oh, we could get a result here, even though they are, deservedly much higher up the table than us.
And they're decent at home.
Yeah, and they're decent at home.
We've said that with the first time a blank at home.
Yeah, and it's like, every game in the Premier League is difficult, blah blah blah. But that Fulham traditionally is a game that you, as West Ham, you kind of go in and go, yeah, we could do this, we could beat them, and so you go there off the back of being amazing at Liverpool, not amazing, playing better than expected considering the result, and the spirit being high and the momentum that we're in, and you wanted us to really go and give it to Fulham, and we sat back.
So is that on Nuno? Did Nuno just crap his pants?
I think so. I think he just like had especially because like our goal difference is so poor, so that's an extra point, isn't it? You know, against Forest, I think we were going into Liverpool. I think we were within 3, and then in that stretch, then back out to 5, and it's like 5 is difficult to overcome. So I think he just shit his pants and just we sat back, and we got lucky with Somerville just being the informed player. And managing to get us something. It was nice. This is one of the games where I think Bowen's started to play better. Bowen's had a really hit and miss season. If we'd had Pablo available for Fulham, I think that might have been different. We might have had a little bit of a because I think Liverpool would have been a different game as well. But yeah, Liverpool, Fulham, 3 points out of 2 games, both away. Well, they're both away. You know, yeah,
that'll do.
Yeah, that'll do. And it's one of them. It took us within touching distance of getting out, and we've had dalliances.
A point of Tottenham now. 3 points. 3 points. Us. You know, it's bloody tight.
It's very tight.
Really tight.
Yeah.
It's scary actually.
Yeah. And it's like for a neutral, like forget the title season. That's not interesting. It's going to be Leeds West Ham last day of the season. That's going to be the big game. It
absolutely could well be. What's your stinker?
I think my stinker for Liverpool is just Liverpool. I think they're my stinker. Just for being obnoxiously fortunate. Like
lucky bastards.
Yeah, they could have stopped at 3.
My stinker's Sunderland.
Just in general, the city of Sunderland.
I used to live not far from Sunderland, so I know a little bit about it. But actually, I don't mind Sunderland. No. But just that when they came and did what they did, and it is just that, you know, as a football fan, it's that thing when you go, it's just not fair. It's not fair. You can't be allowed to do that, and they shouldn't be allowed to do it. You know, at least 3 of their players should have been sent off. You know, second bookable yellows. We'll talk about that next time. Second bookable offences, a penalty which we 100% should have had. There's no doubt that we will get a letter of apology. And I know that Farker likes to store those letters of apology up, but it's just like, nuts. So it's them for me. Are we having a minute? Or
I think we'll save it for next one, because I think it's probably going to be the same.
Let's do that.
The same thing.
Let's save it for the next one.
Well,
all right.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. Well, that's nice, isn't it? We've learnt about standard deviation of statistics.
Yeah.
And what else have we learnt? Oh, we've learnt that I got a telephone call from Ken Bates.
Yeah. I mean, I learnt that. You already knew that.
Well, I did already know that. Yeah, I forgot. In fact, for a long time, I kept the
voice note.
You know, the voice note thing on my phone, but when I changed it last time, it disappeared. Anyway, there you go.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. See you there.